I have a message to the socialists and the work brigade. Everything you've been doing with the causes and the movements, stop. Stop them because they're not helping and they're eventually going to cause more trouble than you're asking. The people on your side, the so-called intellectual lefties who are feeding you these fantasies and these lies about the West and Western values, do not listen. This is coming from me. For those who don't know me, I was born in Iran. My mother was a political refugee who left that country because it was authoritarian, because they didn't have freedom, because they had a socialist economy, because they lied to people initially after when they got rid of the Shah and the monarchy. The new regime, the Islamic Republic, lied, and now this is the situation we have. You're going out there, bringing down statues. You're not the first one. They did it in Iran. You're the first people you think that you're banning comedy or burning books. You weren't the first one. They did it in Iran. They did it in Cuba and other places. Censorship in the name of political correctness and kindness. They're doing it in Iran. We have Hollywood movies which are being censored. I mean, why do you... This is what they do in Iran, for example. This is one example. We have more examples like this where images are completely destroyed because, well, morality, guys, morality. You can't see a woman. You shouldn't see a woman. This is not the first time. In Iran, the female football team have to play their games like this. Seriously, this is not even a joke. Why do you think this is? All the restrictions on freedoms in Iran, or a country like Iran, or Saudi Arabia, or any of these places. Obviously, in the West, we look at them and think, well, this is obviously a bad idea. From their perspective, they're coming from a moral, essentially, angle. They say that women, can't have revealing clothing because men, will find them interesting. So in order to keep society stable, we're going to cover up women. This is what you're doing by banning comedy, because you're trying to protect people's feelings. You're bringing down statues because you're protecting people's, I don't know. Stop doing this. We have a situation where in this country, in Britain, at this point, you have political parties, left-wing and right-wing, mostly becoming economically socialist. But generally speaking, the Labour Party are economically socialist. They want to rearrange society. They want to control everything centrally. But that's not their only problem, because they are now going after everything, all the values. We had the Labour leader, Keir Starmer, taking the knee for Marxists, cultural Marxists. We have the BBC. I'm going to show you a clip from the BBC. As you know, I'm not the biggest fan of the BBC. But this is what they did. They crossed the line. In the name of equality, of races and everything, they've decided to attack white people and women. Watch this.
My first question to the ladies today is, how can white women not be Karens?
Educate yourself. Read some books so that you are aware of the histories and of white people and race.
I think as well, just try not to be defensive about things, and particularly try not
Hang on. Firstly, this was broadcast on the BBC. This is literally BBC content. Secondly, did you hear that last person saying, well, just try not to be offended by things? Remind you of anybody? You literally said these Karens, these white women, their problem is they're very sensitive and they get offended. Or boomers, when we say, we make boomer memes, they get offended and they should just stop getting offended. Well, maybe you should stop getting offended. Offense is objective. This is why you're going after comedy. But somehow, if you're a woman, white or middle class, that doesn't apply. Let's watch the rest because it gets even worse and worse.
About your whiteness. So I think a lot of the time when women are Karens, it's because they are completely unwilling to accept that their whiteness is a privilege, and they want instead to be treated in a special way because they're women. You have to be ready to think critically about your identity and your privilege, and that's really important.
Yeah, and don't be so loud. Stop shouting and stop attacking black voices, and instead you should be uplifting them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get out of the way, basically.
Yeah, basically leave.
Right. Not sure how to react to the last one. This is the whole point. What I'm trying to say here in this video is every cause starts with a good intention, whether it's to eliminate poverty or bringing down inequality or whatever, protecting people's feelings. Eventually, the outcome is going to be the exact opposite. It's going to be even more destructive. As I said, this happened in Iran. When they got rid of the monarchy, they initially came out and said, well, one of the reasons we did this is because we have poverty in Iran. So the Ayatollah, the supreme leader, came before he got in charge. He got into basically their state and government. He promised everybody free oil, free bus passes, free everything, free water. Well, didn't happen. This is the same thing. These people on the BBC, they are trying to, essentially, what they're going after is not necessarily skin color. It's the same battle that these idiots have been fighting for decades and decades, which is income inequality and poverty, which is a good cause to fix in terms of, well, not income inequality, because that's an idiotic, like, and it's economic illiteracy on a whole different level. But poverty, yes, we all want to get rid of it. We all want more people to do better in life. But the way these people are doing it, they bring down everybody, including, we're not talking about the rich or the powerful, they're bringing down the ordinary middle class or hardworking upper working class, whatever you want to call it, in order to achieve their agenda. We have the Labour leader, Keir Starmer, now talking about going after pensioners and people who don't have good income, but happen to have some savings or some sort of property that were given to them by a family member. Watch this.
We are saying to the government, look at the idea of a wealth tax. We certainly support the principle that those with the broadest shoulders should bear the greatest burden. But at this stage, 4 years before an election, I'm not going to start setting out tax.
But where would it kick in?
Well, we'll have to look at it carefully, and we will have a fully costed Labour manifesto in due course, and a much shorter one, by the way, next time. But what we're saying
is the last one too long?
The last one was far too long, had far too much in it, and because it had too much in it, people didn't believe any of what was in it, and it was one of our major problems.
Brevity is all.
I told you, this is exactly what they do every single time. And he's saying that, people who... he thinks he's talking about people who are more powerful financially. But as I said, he's not going after the bankers or the big corporations or the billionaires. He's going after people who don't have a good income but happen to have some sort of savings. This is a wealth tax. Wealth tax, again, it's got the word wealth in it, so you think it's a good idea. I can assure you it's not. But these socialists have always been using and hijacking certain words to help their cause. Whether it's the word compassion, whether it's now the National Health Service. The NHS propaganda has been so successful that you have conservative voters backing the NHS because they think if you don't have the NHS, you're going to have an American insurance system. No, the alternative is Europe and Singapore, Germany, France, Sweden, Switzerland. Healthcare is universal in those places, and it's more efficient, and the quality of outcome is better. But we're having an outdated system that no other country in the world wants to copy because socialists have dominated the argument. Well done, guys. Absolutely well done. So my message, as I said before, is try your best. Every single person who's watching this, if you're not left-wing, then try to come up with better arguments to talk to your left-wing friends or family members at schools, universities, because we do have to start countering these arguments instead of just shouting at them saying you're a communist or you're Marxist. Of course they are, but when it comes to reasonable debate, we have to start talking back. And if you're left wing, for the love of God, stop. That woman on that BBC show, she said, well, white women should read books. Well, maybe you should read books, because this is a whole different argument. And we always say some of the most stupid people are intellectuals and academics. Reading books doesn't make you smart. Sometimes common sense and street smart are more important and more powerful than a few pages of books. Obviously, be aware of history and understand, especially economics. Like, you need to understand how economics work. I always say this, but this is what we have for now. Hopefully, this was helpful and useful. If I ranted too much, I apologize. Don't forget, we were talking about the BBC, so don't forget to get your Defund the BBC t-shirts. The link is in the description. get your t-shirts, cancel your TV license, and watch this show, the My ITC show instead. It comes in different colors. Also, if you want to support the channel so you could continue our work, then become a member. You can find the link in the description, youtube.com/myitc/join. You get a lot of benefits. We're going to be doing Zoom video calls with members. We have obviously the Q&As as well once a week, and the video podcast that we do with Andrew Walker every Sunday. And there are various benefits, and we are actually going to add more perks to the membership club as well, so you guys could be benefiting more instead of just me asking for blank donations. I don't believe in doing that, so I'm going to give something back to you guys for supporting me. Thank you very much. I'm my TC, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with a new video.